Hello, everybody. It looks like we're live. This is the blueprint that we actually ask people who are, especially people who are fairly new online, to follow because it will save you some mistakes most people make, especially when you try to emulate what leaders are doing online that may have been around maybe for a few years now or decades. That does not apply to you. So today we're doing step three, which is the invite step. We've been through dream, deliver already. We're doing invite. So after deliver is actually preparing an offer, something you're going to sell. Once you have something to sell, then you can invite people to consume it. And this is, I think, one of the most critical parts of this whole blueprint is that number one, we don't want you to start inviting anyone really. I mean, unless you're doing this for fun as a hobby, I guess it's a different story. But if you're really creating a business, we don't want you to invite anybody until you actually have something to deliver. So you have to go to the deliver step first. And the next one is invite. Here's a mistake to avoid before I even describe invite. Invite is not a full-fledged marketing campaign. So I know that a lot of the times you'll be online and someone's going to be pitching you some new great strategy on marketing. It's great for the right person, I'm sure, but for most people, you do not want to start with that when you have a brand new offer. You want to do what we call the invite, which is reaching out to invite trusting prospects that need results. So it's a personal invite. It's actually reaching out. It's not a full-fledged campaign or anything. It's something simple, and it starts manually. Starts maybe you have that link. You have something to sell. You could easily send somebody a messenger or a link through messenger, or post something in your groups saying, hey, I got this new offer. I got this new thing that I'm checking out. I'm looking for some new people. You could also do it publicly, maybe a Facebook post, maybe a live stream, some sort of event, maybe be a guest on somebody's either live stream or podcast where you can actually invite someone to consume your offer. So from the deliver step. And then after you've done that for some time, you're going to start noticing some patterns. You're going to realize, you know what, I keep explaining this one thing over and over. Maybe I should make a video about it. Or I keep giving people this one explanation. Maybe it should be a PDF of some sort. And that's where the systematic thing kind of kicks in. And that's where you could create some sort of registration system and say, hey, you know what, check out what I got to, what this new problem that I'm solving, or this problem that I'm solving, get this freebie for me kind of thing. Maybe set up some referral incentives, maybe even offer some commissions. So that's where you could start doing that. But it doesn't really happen until you've done some manual reaching out or invitations where you start seeing the pattern of what's really needs to be systematized. And it's really the flow of what's going to take us to the next step, which is nurture. But it could all kind of flow really well together. Again, start with the invitation. Again, like I was saying earlier, it's not some complex marketing funnel. It's you actually reaching out to people, whether messenger, email, or on calls, or any which way you can to reach them one on one. Let me tell you a few reasons why you want to do this is because you are actually better at closing than any funnel you create. So you're the most efficient way. It's not the most efficient way, but it is definitely the most effective way right now. It's the best way to start. And that's because you're going to be able to, on the fly, customize any response they may have, any objection they may have, or questions they may have. And through that process, you could start taking notes and say, hey, you know, I just realized that these are the most common questions people ask me when I invite them to sign up for my program or my membership or my course. I think those would probably needs to be covered somewhere on my sales material, on my sales page, or my lead magnet, or my nurture process down the road. So it's that back and forth one-on-one that you do with people that allows you to actually start noticing those patterns. And yeah, again, like I was just saying, you need that firsthand feedback. And it's not just on how to sell, it's also once they've consumed, you want to learn, hey, what was it really that they really got them excited about this program? What did they really get at the end of it? What's the one big reason? Why are they buying your solution? And those are things that will help you once you start creating more of a complex marketing funnel. But again, it's not the time to do it right now. It's focused on invitation and getting that feedback. Yes, this will help you with your sales process. Simple ideas to invite. So start with people that already trust you or can be influenced quickly. Maybe at live in-person events, maybe referrals you got from other people. So someone who's really warm, who just, as long as you say, hey, you know, I got this new offer and it does X, Y, Z, and it's going to take you through these steps, you know that they trust you already, that you know what you're talking about, you know that you're going to provide a good solution, and they'll buy. So they won't need a lot of convincing, which is awesome. You get some immediate sales, and also you start to quickly start getting some maybe testimonials from those people. Another way to do it is just say that, hey, you're looking for beta testers to try out a new product or solution, and only accept a few people. Actually limit the spots to create some urgency, and also limit the spots because you want to carefully watch everybody who consumes your course or your membership, and really get feedback from them. So you really can't, even if you have the leads for it, you really shouldn't take a lot of people, because you're supposed to be, this is the phase where you're supposed to be watching out and really learning from their experience to improve your process. And yes, because it is a beta tester, the reason why people get excited about being a beta tester is because they know, hey, it's probably going to be cheaper, yes, and you're probably, if there's a time component to your offer, maybe some one-on-one time, maybe they'll get extra time, they get some bonuses and other incentives to be the first ones to jump in. They know the first group usually gets the best deal, so that's one of the reasons why saying, hey, I'm looking for beta testers, it's not a bad thing. It's actually a good thing if you combine it with extra incentives at the beginning. For group memberships, and maybe offer them a founding member or some special price or other perks, and label them as, hey, this is my founding community of people, and give them special recognition for that. And a lot of prospects that you can't help right now get on a waiting list. So if you do close it off and say, I'm only taking 20 people, then make sure to set up some sort of waiting list right after it closes, so that people can jump in and start saying, hey, I have interest for the next round. So, but yeah, it's, again, this is meant to be small. It's not meant for you to do $100,000 launch yet. I mean, if you've done them before, if you know what you're talking about, then obviously this isn't for you. But for most people, you got to start small and then build from there. And then there's a few ways that you could potentially optimize your invitation process. Maybe create some content, short videos, lists, documents. And this is, again, after you've done some of the invitation already, and you start to see some patterns of things people keep asking you often, and you say, hey, instead of repeating myself, why don't I just make a short video or list or some PDF of some sort? And what's great about those videos is it is a great way to prepare them before a conversation. So if you're actually selling on a phone call, maybe giving them a complimentary session, then if they watch those short videos, it's going to be a much smoother process. And it also is going to filter them out. If they don't interested in watching a short video before they get on the phone call with you, maybe then they're not the right prospect. And your goal is to find the gold, is to find the vein of gold. And that vein of gold is that one client that gets really a lot out of it, or the most out of your product and service. That's why you don't want to take a lot of people at the beginning either, because you got to make sure, obviously, it's not all up to you, right? It's not all up to you. So you can create the best course or membership, but if someone really doesn't put their part into it, it's not going to work, right? But at the beginning, you want to make sure you cherry pick and help those clients get the most out of it, fill in, do extra stuff, follow up with them more than you normally would, to make sure that you do create some success studies. Provide some follow-up support after the promise is delivered. So after they consume your course, after they're part of the membership, do follow up with them. And that's part of actually getting those testimonials. It's part of making sure that they got results, because they're going to be the pattern that every other client follows. So we want to make sure you start with a good foundation. So some examples, maybe self-assessments, some surveys, some questionnaires, especially for that follow-up. We just finished a course, a virtual course or workshop with a client of mine. And yes, at the end, we did have a follow-up session with everyone. And yes, we asked them what they liked the best, what they didn't like the best, what we could improve. And those were great testimonials that they were okay with us using as a testimonial video. So that was awesome. So some foundational knowledge, case study breakdowns to show what you've done for others, see what's most important to them. So yeah, so create a case study. And again, like I said, once you start getting a few clients, it's easier to create those case studies, short videos explaining common questions. And then you start using tools as well, maybe scheduling tools, forms, etc., to optimize your process. So this is just invitation. The big thing to get out of this, what I just shared with you, is that you want to make sure to keep this simple. Start with a few people, and this is your learning process. So the invitation is not so much for you to sell a bunch of people on your product or membership or service. It's to actually get some feedback, learn and improve, so that when you are ready to do that big marketing campaign, you have the raw materials to make it happen.